For 3 decades, a heavy silence hung over the streets of Wichita, Kansas. 10 people had been methodically hunted in their own homes, and the predator responsible had seemingly vanished into thin air. Investigators scoured the margins of society, looking for an outcast or a transient who would stand out in a tight-knit Midwestern community. Instead, the man they were hunting lived right beside them, operating behind a meticulously constructed life of ordinary routines. As years bled into decades, leads dried up. The police hit a brick wall, and local newspapers filled the void with endless speculation. The intense media obsession solidified his status as an untouchable phantom. Then, in March 2004, a local paper received a letter containing photographs of an unsolved 1986 murder. After 25 years of silence, the killer re-established contact. But his dormant period had created a severe blind spot. He was operating on a 1970s understanding of police work, completely unaware of how drastically forensic science had evolved while he was asleep. A predator can build the perfect, unassuming life to shield themselves from suspicion. That shield fractures the moment an insatiable ego demands the spotlight. The renewed attention acted like a drug. Over the next 11 months, a flurry of strange packages, word puzzles, and taunting letters arrived at local TV stations and police headquarters. He wanted to escalate his games, but he needed a new medium. He placed a classified ad in the local paper asking the police a highly specific question. Could a floppy disk be traced back to a specific computer? Investigators saw an opening. They needed him to feel secure. They bought their own classified ad responding to his moniker, Rex. The message was simple. No, a floppy disk cannot be traced. He believed them. 2 weeks later, a local news station received a padded envelope containing a single 1.44 megabyte floppy disk. Narcissism is a powerful intoxicant. It compelled a highly methodical killer to voluntarily hand over the exact instrument that would lead to his capture. The disk was immediately driven to the regional computer forensics laboratory. Here, an open computer tower awaited, ready to pull apart whatever data lived inside that plastic shell. Investigators bypassed the text of the documents entirely. They were hunting for metadata. Beneath the surface of any digital document lies an invisible layer of metadata. By diving into the drive's deepest memory blocks, technicians resurrected a deleted document. Embedded in the raw code was the last user, Dennis, and the organization, Christ Lutheran Church. The digital trail pointed directly to a mundane red brick community building sitting quietly in a residential neighborhood. 30 years of dead ends and cold trails, completely dismantled in an afternoon by a few invisible lines of digital text. Detectives quickly identified Dennis Rader, the president of the church congregation. A name on a computer screen, however, wasn't enough for an arrest warrant. They had to physically connect Rader to the biological evidence left at the decades-old crime scenes. To avoid tipping him off, police secured a warrant for a routine medical tissue sample, previously taken from Rader's daughter at a university clinic. The lab ran the familial DNA profile against biological material recovered from a 1974 crime scene. The results came back as an exact biological match. The digital breadcrumb had led them directly to the physical proof. On February 25, 2005, heavily armed tactical teams pulled over Dennis Rader's vehicle on his way home for lunch. The quiet arrest sent an immediate shockwave through the city, finally bringing the phantom into the light of the justice system. The chilling reality of Dennis Rader lay in his absolute integration into society. He was an actively involved citizen, a trusted Boy Scout leader, a strict local compliance officer, a man who sat in the pews and collected the offering every Sunday. A person can weaponize that normalcy to fool the world for an entire lifetime. In the end, no amount of careful routine can protect a predator from their own hubris and the unblinking, objective truth of a digital footprint.